Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Christian marriages. And today the title, as you would already see here, is How Do You Know If You're Ready for Marriage? My single friends and just other people have just really asked me, questions like that. And usually what I think about is there's some things that you can do in your single life that will prepare you, but I think that marriage is really its own kind of journey and experience. So it's not really one of those things that you're just gonna feel like you're so ready, and when you get into it, it's like, yes, this is what I've been training for or practicing forever. But I do think there are some things that can be done. I actually did a little bit of research, and it was with a website called, let's see here, QZ.com. If you go to Q and the letter Z, so it's together, QZ.com, you should be able to see this. Anyway, I think out of everything I looked at, it did a lot of studies with marriage couples, so between a husband and a wife. And I think what I summarized and got from that, as even relates to like happiness and people's thinking about marriage, right? Because you have so much social media, and even prior to that, sometimes you just see what someone shows you, but you don't really know what's going on. And so there is an ideal marriage in your mind, and then when you get married, those expectations may not be met, and so people are really dissatisfied and unhappy and may leave the marriage. But different things can happen as well, but people can leave a marriage and still find that there's still, the happiness is still not really there. And I think I'm finding that from my research and my own personal experience of being married, is that the happiness aspect of it will have a lot more to do with you, the individual, as well. Not to say that someone could not have a spouse that is contributing to some of their dissatisfaction, but you would definitely have control over your own happiness. So that's one of the biggest things. And then as far as marriage advice, it's interesting because I think it sounds good sometimes, especially to, different people, but especially believers, Christians, who might read about what love really is, but it comes down to really, when we have to do it, when you have to not be envious and not be easily angered, and the list goes on with what love really is, and how love is obviously not conditional, and it's kind and it's patient, and you find that it is really a lot of heart work when it comes to marriage, a lot of heart work that comes to marriage, a lot of hard work that when we talk about marriage. So I think, so I have some scripture here as far as when you think of marriage, right? The scripture here says that as God's chosen people, dearly loved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. And those are really key things that are going to be needed in a marriage, no doubt about it. Because everything in your natural flesh, in nature, is not going to gonna flow. Okay, the kindness is just not gonna flow. It's something that you're gonna have to work at. You can't imagine it as a single person. It just seems like it's going to be one way, and then you get married and it's something totally different. And even though sometimes you have examples around you, it's nothing like being in it for yourself. So I will say that if it's hard for you to be patient with others, it wouldn't really be any different when you get married. You think it would be because you're thinking, surely I have this romantic, relationship with a person, and you cannot imagine it. But when you've not learned to be forgiven to those who are near you, friends or family, when you get married, it doesn't make it any easier. It might just make it more obvious the things that you've not worked on or dealt with while you were single. Okay, so I would say this is like my little nugget. I try not to make it too long, but marriage is really a journey, and your happiness is subjective. And so you have to find a way to exercise your happiness now as a single person. And so when you do get married, as a married person as well, you do the same thing. Your spouse is not going to make you happy, not at the extent that you might think, but I think that you have to have the mindset that you have to love yourself as well, and you have to demonstrate that love for yourself. And lots of patient muscle, bearing one another. That's what the scripture says in Colossians chapter 3, verse 13. It says, bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. And I'm not saying this is easy. What I am saying is this is what is going to keep your marriage lasting, and in fact, even relationships lasting in a work environment, in a friendship environment. And we're challenged to grow. We're challenged to get better. Not just get older, but really get better with age and time and our spiritual growth above all else. I really hope that you are blessed by this and you are encouraged by this. There's no need to feel that rush to get into marriage like it's going to save you, like it's going to bring you so much joy and happiness. Find that joy and happiness now in what you can do every day, bettering yourself, loving yourself. Don't be afraid to buy yourself flowers, to cook yourself a really great dinner, whether it's even getting one china plate. I don't know, whatever it is that you can do where you are to really embody that happiness, so that when you're married, you're not seeking for your spouse to do that, or else you will be in a rude awakening and you will feel quite disappointed. And it's really not even in that person, it would be in your own expectations that were never spoken and unmet. Anyway, God bless you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.